Welcome to episode number 19, College Football Week 6 recap. I am alone today. Got a lot to talk about. A lot happened. Oklahoma, how far will they fall? TCU might be good. I guess we will see. Got a lot to get into. Welcome to the stream. As I said in the intro, it is just me, no D-Brag. He is busy. He's a busy man. I don't know what he's got going on, but we are going to cover some college football because we haven't been on in a whole week. And so I figured I just need to go ahead and do a show. So I'm going to run through everything that happened, everything that needs to be talked about. I'll go through my poll, or not my AP poll, but my rankings, who I feel where. Anyway, I'm pulling all that up right now, and we'll just get into it. And college football week 6, we are halfway through the season. It doesn't even feel real to be that far into the season. Felt like it just started. We were just doing week 0 picks. Now we're in week 6, but it was a great weekend of football. Again, several ranked teams were beat. Alabama narrowly escapes Texas A&M. Well, we'll get going with the first thing I have written down here. Texas, Oklahoma, unranked Red River rivalry. Oklahoma coming off of 2 straight losses, blowout losses. Well, Kansas State wasn't necessarily a blowout, but a blowout loss to TCU. Texas gets Quinn Ewers back. We felt like they would be a different team with him at the helm, and they were 49-0 on Oklahoma in that rivalry. That is one of the biggest blowouts I've ever seen in that rivalry. Probably, it's got to be up there with the biggest of all time. But 49-0. Oklahoma did not score a point, which is crazy considering how good Oklahoma's offense has always been. But, they're I wouldn't say that Brent Venables needs to go now. I think he was left with a mess at Oklahoma. I think we overrated them way too much, thinking they had the talent that they had last year. And when you look into it, they didn't. They lost so much. They lost a coach, they lost a quarterback, they lost a receiver. When you look at all that, it's kind of like, man, what do they really have? So Oklahoma gets blown out again. They are now 3-3, which is crazy to believe that they were 3-0 a few weeks ago and ranked number 5, I believe. But Texas looks, they're the best 2-loss team in my opinion. They look really good with Ewers at quarterback. I think they may be back with Ewers at quarterback. Unfortunately, they already have 2 losses. Wish they could have squeaked that Texas Tech game out. That way we would have a 1-loss Texas team probably in the top 10. They should have got Alabama. Ewers is in there. They probably beat Bama. You can't compare, but probably wins that game. But it's going to be fun to see where this Texas team leads us and how the committee handles Texas, because you have 1 loss with a backup quarterback. And yes, Hudson Card is not a horrible backup quarterback, but he's not Quinn Ewers, obviously. That's why he's the backup. And, the Texas Tech loss is not a great loss, obviously. But the Alabama loss seems lenient. So if they win the Big 12 while beating Oklahoma State, TCU, Kansas, they have a case for the spot. It's going to, they don't control their own destiny as far as the playoff goes. They would need a lot of 2-loss teams, and that doesn't seem like it's going to happen this year. So, I think they get a big-time bowl game, and that's going to be good for them going forward. Obviously, their recruiting classes are getting better and better every year, so it's going to be exciting to see what they do there. But Alabama struggles versus Texas A&M. Jalen Milroe plays quarterback for Alabama. Definitely not Bryce Young. Fumbles 3 times. Does not look great. A&M stayed in the ballgame because of the turnovers, and they drove it down the field to win it. And they had one play to win it, and they threw probably one of the worst play calls I've ever seen. They threw it through a hitch. Don't even know that he would have gotten the end zone had he called it. But you can argue there was a PI, but I mean that stupid play call. I don't really understand it, but it is what it is. Alabama squeaks out again. I would take this Alabama A&M game with a grain of rice. Alabama is Alabama. Nick Saban is Nick Saban. Bryce Young is Bryce Young. Alabama is going to be fine. The people that are coming and saying Alabama's going to be a 2-loss, 3-loss, Alabama's not going to lose 3 games. They're not going to lose 2 games. They may not even lose 1. This week they're going to beat Tennessee. I'm here to tell you, if Bryce Young plays. If Bryce Young doesn't play, they're not going to win that game. But I'm interested to see how Tennessee fares against Bama. It's going to be exciting to see, but I would not take that A&M game. Georgia fans, SEC fans, they're saying, oh, Alabama, relax. Alabama's still Alabama, and they're going to be. And Bryce Young comes back, it's going to be Alabama. So nothing too much to talk about there. Ohio State they went on the road for the first time in Week 6. They went on the road for the first time to Michigan State, and they rolled. I mean, I think the final was 49-13. C.J. Stroud was money again, 5 touchdowns. He did throw a pick 6, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? You won 49-13. They look really good. Michigan State is awful. I think they're 2-4 now. So I mean, they're bad. They're really bad. Ohio State looks the part. I mean, they look amazing. They look like the best. They are my best team in the country, according to me. But I don't know. Well, we got to see. I mean, they haven't played anybody, in my opinion. Notre Dame's looking better, but I don't know how good their schedule has been. I don't think it's been very good, in my opinion. TCU goes to Kansas. They beat America's team. Kansas gets game day. The hype is there. Jalen Daniels is he gets hurt before the half. He's out for the rest of the game. He's out for the season. So it's never good news when you have a young star like that is just trying to make a name for himself in the program. Gets knocked out of the game. Max Duggan, however you pronounce his last name, he's a dude. He's in my opinion one of the Heisman front runners right now. I mean, he can do anything you ask him to do. He can throw, he can pass. This TCU team looks really good to me. Their offense is explosive. Their defense not as much as good as the offense, obviously. But they go to Oklahoma. Do they go? I'm not sure if they go to Oklahoma State this weekend. I'll have more on that this weekend or whenever I do my episode for that. But it's going to be a good test. Cowboys and Horned Frogs this weekend going to be a good one. Excited to see the outcome there. Clemson, number 4 Clemson, now ranked number 4 Clemson, starts off very slow against Boston College. Is only up 10-3 at the half, but pulls away in the second half, dominates like they've been doing. 31-3 was the final. Nothing much there. Boston College could never get anything going. Clemson looked really good again in the second half. Georgia obliterates Auburn in the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Auburn's bad. I mean, we know they're bad. They can't move the ball to save their life on offense. I mean, Robbie Ashford is just not the answer. Auburn should never be this bad, ever. They should be able to recruit way better than they are. I don't know what – I mean, I know what the problem is. That the coaching staff is not what it needs to be. And that change is coming soon with another bad loss. Not Georgia's not a bad loss, but I'm saying there's going to be a coaching change soon. Soon, there's inevitable. Brian Harsin, it will be gone soon. I don't know who will take that role. Possibly Matt Rule. Just got fired by the Panthers in the NFL. That is a possibility. I'm hearing Hugh Freeze. I don't think that's the answer. But we shall see what happens there. Georgia rolls 42-10. Stetson Bennett had a 64-yard run in the game. Georgia got the running game going finally. Dejon Edwards had 3 touchdowns. The freshman Branson Robinson looks really good at running back. I think the Kendall Milton and Kenny McIntosh are on their way out as the starters. Edwards and Robinson look way better in my opinion. They run harder. They're more physical. They're more Georgia backs. But Georgia looked good again. Or they looked good for the first time in 3 weeks, so that was promising. Michigan struggles again with another Big Ten team, and another bad Big Ten team. They go on the road to Indiana, and they win 31-10, but it was 10-10 deep in the third quarter, 17-10 in the fourth, I believe. So yes, they scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth to finish it, but it was not pretty. They get Penn State this weekend. I'm excited to watch this game. It's at noon in the Big House, Ann Arbor. Excited to see both teams, Penn State and Michigan. Penn State had the off week last week. Both teams are undefeated, both ranked in the top 10. We'll be excited. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be a doozy. I don't know who gets out of this one, honestly, because Michigan is not impressive to me, and I don't think they're as good. I think last year was a fluke. And then Penn State, on the other hand, they've been good, and then they 17-7 Northwestern. So I don't really know what to think about this game. My heart tells me to go with Penn State. My gut's telling me go Penn State. I don't know why, but got a feeling Penn State's going to pull this one out against Michigan. Michigan's been playing bad lately, to me, in my opinion. Oklahoma State narrowly gets out at home against Texas Tech. Texas Tech playing the upset bid all year this year, they said. Can't make the playoff now, Texas Tech, obviously. So they're just trying to spoil everybody else's playoff, and it's going good. 41-31 Oklahoma State. They scored to put it out of reach with about 6 minutes to go. This was a good one. The Cowboys, they look really good on offense. The defense looks good for the first half, and then it kind of falls apart in the second half. I think it's a depth thing. That worries me a little bit. Like I said, talked about with the TCU game, I don't know who to feels going to win this game. I mean, it's just who has the better day, honestly. Spencer Sanders is a dog. Max Dugan's a dog. Probably the best quarterback matchup we've had so far this year. So I'm excited to see that. But Tennessee, the Volunteers go on the road. A lot of people thought this was a trap game at LSU. They absolutely silenced the Death Valley crowd in LSU. 40-13, not even that close. Gave a late touchdown. LSU fumbles to open kickoff. Hendon Hooker looks amazing once again. Tennessee looks stout. I mean, they look really good right now. Passing game looks amazing. The running game looks amazing. Offense clicking on all cylinders. The defense is a worry for me, but the best defense is twice the offense, and Tennessee has twice the offense. So they have a big fight this weekend, big matchup. Alabama, like I mentioned earlier, 3 versus 6. Tennessee's at home for this one. It is in Neyland Stadium. This crowd will be ready. They'll be ready. They haven't had a game this big in forever. Alabama has not lost to Tennessee in 17 years. So it'll be fun to see how that turns out. Undefeated UCLA smokes Utah. Utah scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, made it a 10-point game. But The Bruins, man, they look really good. I'm not going to overreact because I've been overreacting. I really think the Pac-12 is just going to beat up on each other, and everybody's going to end up with 2 losses. But DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, looked really good again. He's dominant. He's running the ball. He's throwing the ball. He's the quarterback we thought he would be out of high school. I'm excited. I like to watch him play. He's a very emotional and stout player. But I believe they have Oregon this week, so I'm excited to see how that one turns out. I could be very wrong on that. Let me see who they play this week, so I'm not wrong on that. They go on the road to Oregon this Saturday. Not this Saturday, excuse me. They're off this Saturday. Next Saturday. So, but UCLA looks really good right now. I'm not going to overreact there because I don't want them to lose me to sound stupid. South Carolina goes on the road and beats Kentucky without Will Levis, 24-14. Kentucky's just, especially without Will Levis, is not a very good football team. But with him, are an average to at best football team, in my opinion. I mean, they're better than South Carolina. Circumstances tell us that they're not, but Kentucky's just not going to be there in the end. I figured they wouldn't be. I figured 7 was way too high for them. But polls are polls, and we have them for a reason. But Notre Dame picks up a huge win. They beat BYU. Quarterback Pine looks really good. Notre Dame has looked stout the past few weeks, a lot better than the Marshall loss. They've won 4 in a row. They're 4-2. I could see them being in the polls after this week. So good for Notre Dame. They need this. They need to get back going. Good for Marcus Freeman, just to get it all rolling again. I mean, it took a while. It took a while to take off. A little rusty, but they're back. I mean, they're not going to win now. I mean, they can't play in the playoff now. They got 2 losses and no conference championship, so they definitely can't get in. But Notre Dame is around, and they're going to make some things happen. They get Clemson later in the year.